Well, welcome out to day 7, but it's going to be a short day. Let me show you why. I don't know if you can see that, but that's rain. It started raining this morning, and we have semi-trucks at the other end, and we have a grain cart that's half full, and we didn't tarp anything because it wasn't supposed to rain, and here it is raining. So I'm basically on my way down to this semi to finish loading him and then tarp him. And then we'll just wait until the grain dries out, probably tomorrow. So yeah, it's gonna be a short day. Well, while we're waiting for the grain to dry out, we decided we'd come in here, me and Trevor, and we're building this chain. So this is the floor chain for this truck. So we're welding the slats in and getting it all put together. Trevor's cutting all the slats. We have 25 slats to weld in, so it's gonna take us a while, but because we got rained out, we have time to do it, so I guess that's a good thing. But back to grain. But before we go back to grain, I thought I would come show you the cellar, because this is the cellar that had all the rotten potatoes in it, and we just destroyed the floor. So we've had a guy here, he's been using all of his equipment to smooth it all out. We've had a lot of dirt brought in because we hauled a lot of dirt out. So I'm gonna show you this for a second. So look at this nice floor. Brand new. So we brought in a whole bunch of dirt, I think about 5 or 10 loads of dirt, and he had to come in and he ripped all the floor up and got all the ruts broke up, and he just did this with a skid steer, but he's got all these different attachments, but he got it nice and smooth and level, and it's all built up right to where the pipes are going to go, and it's all brand new. So we have about a month to a month and a half till we start putting potatoes back in here. So yeah, we got to let it sit and dry out and harden, and then it'll be good to go for potatoes. Well, the grain is still wet. So this is our new even flow bin. We're down here at Sputnik. We're picking up our even flow bin and our piler today, and we'll get all of the other stuff later. It's not done yet, but the even flow's done, the piler's done. So we're just here hooking up a few things, and we're gonna pull it back to the shop. Brand new even flow bin. It's pretty nice. I couldn't tell you the specs on it. I just know it's big. It's gonna have 2 fingers on the front, and we should be able to unload 2 trucks, maybe not at the same time, but have a constant flow coming up and be able to run constant. But yeah, as the rest of our equipment gets done, we'll be coming down and picking it up. But this is a huge upgrade to ours. Ours is 30 years old, so this will be nice. But we got speed controls, all the jacks are hydraulic jacks. Ours are all hand crank. So yeah, this thing's gonna be a huge upgrade compared to what we have now. But we got a new even flow bin, we got a new sorter table, we're getting all new conveyors, we're getting new piler, just all new cellar equipment, because ours just broke so much last year. And we have Grandpa here. He wanted to come down and make sure we were getting the right thing. What do you think, Grandpa?
Nice. That looks really good.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. They put all the motors right here so you can have easy access. Never gonna break down. Well, Grandpa said it, so it'll happen. We won't have any breakdowns. It'll just run flawlessly. There's our piler. They're bringing it around. So we're gonna back our F550 because those pilers are so stinking heavy. You got to have something that can actually pull it. But we're gonna get this hooked up. We'll pull it on home. Now this isn't the biggest piler they make, because we didn't think we needed the biggest one that they had, but this should more than do the job for what we're doing. It does have really wide belts. These have 40-inch wide belts on them. We just needed something with more capacity so we can run full speed. Got her hooked up, ready to go. We got to do one thing though. We got to go like this. That ain't going nowhere. Well, we're pulling the even flow bin back. The piler ended up not being, well, I think it's the right piler, but they didn't put a few parts on that we'd ordered. So we're gonna leave the piler there, and they're gonna get the parts that we want on it. It's supposed to have a rear cross conveyor that goes underneath like the belt, to push the dirt out to the side. And it didn't have that on it, so they're gonna pull it back in and put a few parts on it. We'll come get it another day. But yeah, we're following Christopher, pulling this back. It's pretty wide, so it'll be interesting to pull this through town. All right, it's official. We are going again. It only took 2 days to dry out because it wouldn't quit sprinkling, but we're going. The moisture is a little high, but it's under the limit. I think the limit's 14, and I think he said it's at a 13 or a 12, so higher than it was. It was at a 10 and a 9, but it's still low enough that we can cut it. So we are going again. We're gonna try and get as much as we can done because it's supposed to rain again in about 5 or 6 hours. So we're gonna see what we can do. All right, first dump after the rainstorm. It's nice to be back in the tractor, back going, because we were just kind of at a standstill trying to find things to do until it dried out. But we do wish we wouldn't have been stopped, because had we not got stopped, we would have been done this week. But now it looks like we might be going into next week, but probably to be done Monday, unless we get rain today and then we're rained out for another day and a half or 2 days. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much we can get done. Hopefully we can get about done and just have a little bit on Monday, but it all depends on how fast we can go. Well, he just got me all the way full, and this is probably the most full that I've ever been. I can't usually see the grain in my cart, but you can see the grain's heaped up. He had to move it back and forth quite a bit. This is a very full load, but I probably have enough to go fill one of these semis all the way up over here. So I'll go over there and fill up a semi. Well, I just got finished dumping and I was able to load that entire semi with one cart full. So yeah, I was really full because I can only load a whole semi if I'm basically heaped up and about to run over. But I'm all the way empty now, so I gotta drive back down to the other end of the field. He's down there. I gotta go catch him because I gotta dump him out on the other end. Well, we are currently on the longest rows that we have. They're almost a mile long, and he's able to go all the way from one end to the other end, but he is heaping full of grain. So if we had much longer rows, we'd definitely have to fill him in between. Unload him, I guess, not fill him. He's filling already. But he'll turn around right here at the end, and then we'll unload him. This thing's still doing an awesome job. Well, my mom just brought my grandpa out. He's 89 years old, and he's still pretty active on the farm as far as what we do and when. He always comes out and makes sure that we're doing everything the way that we need to, and making sure to check on everything. He likes to check on the cellars and the potatoes, and so he wanted to come out and ride in this new combine that he helped purchase, because he's still a partner on the farm. So we wanted to make sure that he was able to come out and ride in this new fancy combine. He used to run the old combine. So our old combine was a New Holland CR 9060, I think. And a few years ago, he was probably 85. So it's been about 4 years or so. But he was climbing up, and he was sweeping he spilled a little bit of grain on the cab. Well, he was climbing up to sweep the grain off the cab. He was out here by himself waiting for a truck, and he had his foot on the glass door handle. Well, the door handle shattered, and my grandpa right there, he at 85 tumbled back over the railing, landed head first onto the header, and then fell and landed on his head on the ground. And he thought he actually broke 2 or 3 ribs and broke his back in 1 or 2 spots, and I think it may have cracked one of his vertebrae in his neck. And so he just laid there until we got out there. I think my dad was actually the next truck out, and then I got out there, and we got him back, and he's all fixed up. But yeah, I think about 6 months later, he was, well, not even 6 months, 2 or 3 months later, he was out at the cellar on his four-wheeler, making to check and make sure that all the cellar equipment when we were harvesting potatoes was running good. So yeah, he's always been a hard worker, and he's always wanted to come out and make sure everything's working good. So I'm glad he's able to ride in the combine. He said after he fell off the combine, he doesn't want to run the combine anymore. So he hasn't run it since, but he likes to ride in it. I sure hope Grandpa likes this new combine. I'm sure he will. Our old combine couldn't go very fast, and he likes to go fast. So the fact that this one goes about 5 miles an hour, I'm sure he is thrilled with that. Christopher's probably showing him all the fancy high-tech buttons and gadgets. Well, it's really hard to see through the glass, but Grandpa's watching it unload. He was so full that he just decided to stop. Gets a lot of grain in one pass. Well, what do you think, Grandpa?
Looks like a good machine.
Good machine.
It should last.
Really high tech in there. It sure does a lot of grain. That's for sure. All right, I'm just moving down to the other end of the field. He just dumped into me, but we have a little bit of a problem that I can see over here. So that doesn't look good. Looks like we might get rained out here before too long. Sometimes, so it's hard to know whether the storm's actually gonna hit you or not, because we have these mountains right here, and sometimes the storms will come this direction, but then they'll just follow the mountains and they'll just go around us. So that happens a lot, and right now it's to the mountains. So I guess we'll see if it's gonna follow the mountains or if it's gonna come get us, because it doesn't look bad over here. So if it follows the mountains and we just get this little strip here, we might be fine. But it's hard to say right now. It's not looking promising. That looks pretty dark. If that hits us, we're definitely done for the day. Storm's getting closer. And if I look over here, right there, that's dust kicking up. So it's definitely got some wind with it. Right now, it's currently dead calm. So we're in the calm before the storm. So we'll see. Well, we're in a little bit of a predicament because the storm is here. I'll record the storm because there's tons of lightning, so we'll see if we can catch some. Christopher is on his way to the other end of the field. My grain cart is full. It's probably got a little bit of room in there, but I can't see it. Oh, there's some lightning. But my grain cart is full, and so is the combine, and we don't have any more semis. So at least I can tarp my grain cart. So I'm gonna go down to the other end, and we'll see if Christopher wants to dump into me, and then we'll tarp it, because it looks like we may not get this, but it's still raining right here, and it's kicking up a lot of the dust all along the bottom. So we're definitely gonna get hit with something. I don't know how bad it's gonna be, but at least I can tarp my cart. So we might just try and stuff the cart clear full and see how much rain we get. Tarp the cart and go about our day. Okay, well, Christopher just dumped as much as he possibly could into the cart, but look at this. See all this stuff right here? That's dust. Just blowing. So the grain's barely moving. We haven't got the wind yet, but we're about to get pummeled by wind. We might get pummeled by rain too, because the mountains are slowly disappearing. So, yeah, that's fun. Wonder what it'll look like once I get up over this hill. I'm going slow because I don't want to pop the tires or something on this cart, because it is quite full, and they are quite squishy. Oh man, there's raindrop. There's raindrop right there. It's starting to rain. And it's really struggling to pull up this hill with the cart. Oh my goodness. Look at all that dust. That is a few thousand feet high of dust. It's definitely coming for us. We did not escape it. Darn it. I'm down here at the end of the field where these trucks are. Neither one of them are tarped, so I cannot tarp the cart. The tarp will not go over that pile of grain. He's full. He got full, shut the auger off, turned the auger back on, and sheared a bolt. So luckily the mechanic is here. Agri Service is out here, so the mechanic's in there with him. So they're gonna get that fixed, and I'm gonna go try and tarp these two trucks so they don't get poured on with rain. The rain shouldn't go too deep into the grain anyway, so it's probably not gonna be a big deal, but I'm gonna go see what I can do about tarping these trucks. Well, it looks like we might be getting what I hoped for. So there was this little gap that didn't have a whole lot of rain, and it looks like that's coming for us. The main part of the storm is over the mountains over there. We're getting some wind and a little bit of rain, but let's see if I can load this truck without the grain blowing away. I have enough grain in my cart that I will be able to load this entire truck. So I gotta load it, and then I gotta try and tarp it. I was able to tarp one of those other trucks, and then this truck showed up. So I'm gonna get this truck loaded. Well, they fixed the shear bolt. Yay, and it's working. Those shear bolts were so hard to get to. It took 2 guys to get in there. They're up underneath this panel right here. There's 4 extra shear bolts. But I guess it was pretty hard to get to the shear bolts. So we'll get this unloaded, and then he only made it about halfway back. So he's gonna go halfway down the field, and then he'll come this direction. And then we'll empty him again because he can't make it all the way back if I don't empty him. But yeah, anyway, that storm pretty much did what I thought it was gonna do. It came and hit those mountains, and then it just moved off to the side. So we only got a little tiny bit of rain. So it's probably dry enough that we can still go. I guess we'll find out. We didn't get a whole lot of rain, so should be good. Well, I filled that other truck, but just looking at it now, you can see how bad the wind is. It's just blowing the dust that comes out of the back just all the way across. So, but the storm missed us, and now the storm is converged on the other side. So we just got lucky, really lucky. So I'll go to the other end and unload him at the other end. All right, guys, well, we just got done. Thanks for watching. You can see another thunderstorm in the back, and look, there's the moon. I'm touching the moon. Doop, just touched it. So make sure you go down in the description, fill out the form for the giveaway, and if you want to create a new logo or a design for the channel and submit that to my email, we'll pick our favorite at the end of the month, and you'll each get $300. The $300 for the logo, $300 for the giveaway. So I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.